video we're going to be focusing on the TRX lunge. Now TRX lunge, you might think, that's a simple exercise, I know exactly how to do that. It's really easy, it's just 1 foot forward and you lunge down. It's actually different, and if you do it correctly with a TRX, you can get huge benefits out of it. It's one exercise that I dread but love because the aches and pains from doing it properly with a TRX the days after are massive. The reason it's better with doing it with the TRX is because of instability. I always talk about this, but when you've got your other foot in the TRX, you've got a lot more balance to cope with, so you have a lot more secondary muscles kicking in, especially around your core, to engage, to keep you stable, as opposed to just doing a normal lunge where you're quite a lot more stable there to having your foot up. So, to begin, get the TRX in a safe position, attached to either a door or hang it from something that's secure. Always make sure it's sturdy, so it's going to take your weight. You're only going to need one of the straps, so just pull down one side and just make sure that you're at the very end there, so you'll see how one's come down longer than the other. Take the strap, place your foot in it. Now, you've got to be careful of the positioning of your foot here, because as you go down, you want to make sure your knee isn't going over the front of your foot, so you're not putting too much strain on your kneecap. So, jump out, and it's just about playing around with it to where you're comfortable. This feels about right for me, so I'm just going to give it a little test. Yeah, I can see that my knee's not going too far over my kneecap. So maybe I was going to wobble a little bit over, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable. Now, the key trick on this is the negative phase and the squeeze at the top. So, use your hands for stability if you need to. And you're going to go down for 1, 2, 3, and really sink in, hold it, and come up and squeeze your quads. Squeeze your quads as tight as you can. And then go down. 1, 2, 3, and up. And squeeze. 1, 2, 3, and down. 1, 2, 3, and up. And squeeze. 1, 2, 3. And down. 1, 2, 3, and up, and squeeze. 1, 2, 3. And there we go. The key part of it, and where you're going to feel some intense burn, is at the top as you come up. Squeeze that leg, squeeze your quads as much as you can, and it's going to really start wearing down and burning. You want to try and try to do between 12 and 15 reps of those. It's up to you how many sets you want to do, whatever you're comfortable with. I often aim between 3 and 4. But if you're working those in with other elements like jumping squats or even just bodyweight squats, they're a fantastic way to really work all 4 heads, 4 muscles of the quads. Focusing on the hamstring curls, the TRX hamstring curls. And these are great for really burning out your hamstrings. Without the need for a weight, people sometimes assume you can't actually target your hamstrings very well, or without the need to do a hamstring curl. You can target them really well and really effectively with a TRX, and you also engage quite a lot of secondary core muscle as you do it. So what you're going to need to do is get the TRX in a skew position and lower it down as much as it'll go. You don't want it at the floor, but you want it with a quite low and a decent gap. If you need to, put something down the floor so you're not going to get too dirty, because we need to lie down on our back on the floor. So, get down, and you're going to put one heel in each of the straps. So I've got one heel in there, and I've got one heel in there. And make sure both your legs are balanced. So I just need to pull down on my right one there to get them both balanced and aligned. Then you want to tuck under a little bit, not right under, but just a little bit. Lie on your back. I like to keep my hands down by my side. And what you're going to do is lift your bum just a tiny bit, and then pull your ankles to your bum, and you're going to hold for 1, 2, 3, and slowly down, and back up for 1, 2, 3, and slowly down, and back up for 1, 2, 3, and slowly down. Now you'll notice there's a bit of a distance here between my bum and the floor, where I'm supporting myself. As I'm bringing this up, I'm really squeezing my hamstrings And I'm also squeezing my glutes too, and also I can feel my calves are engaged. My stomach is also engaged here to hold me in this position, but a lot of the primary work is done with the hamstrings, and slowly down. And even in this position here, I'm not dropping to the floor, I'm keeping myself level, I'm keeping in a plank position, but on my back, and I'm using my hand to support. And that's it. It's quite a simple exercise, but it's very effective. You're really going to feel a burn in the hamstrings. They wear down quite fast. If you can get between 7 and 12 reps, somewhere in that rep range, the higher the better. Fantastic. Make sure you stretch before and after these, because your hamstrings can get tight very quickly. We're going to focus on the TRX jump squat. This is a really great exercise. Number 1 for building power in your legs, and number 2 for cardiovascular. The TRX we use it for stability. You might be questioning, well, why don't you just do normal jump squats like this? The reason being is with the TRX, we can actually jump back and out and use the TRX as a semicircle. So as we jump back and out, we put more emphasis on the quads, and we can really squeeze the glutes to fire ourselves back, as opposed to jumping forward, which you can sometimes put some more emphasis on the hamstrings and the quads, and less so, on the hamstring and the glutes, and less so on the actual quads. With these jumping squats, we really want to put a lot of emphasis on the quads and really work those. So, as always, there's a little bit of instability. This is a jumping exercise, so you're going to feel a lot of core work coming as well, especially when you're landing and you're holding yourself up as you come up. To begin, get the TRX in a comfortable, in a safe position, make sure it's attached so it can take your body weight. Grab the TRX, make sure the length of them is quite long, because you need a good distance to create an arc. You want your feet nice and wide, because we really want to be targeting our inner and outer quads here, so nice and wide there, and especially for landing, so you can really get deep. Now the idea is to explode up right off your tiptoes, so you're engaging your calves as well, but as you come down, is to slow the descent rate. So try not to jot straight down, try and slow yourself down as you come down. It is quite difficult to do at first, and naturally you just want to jump and jump and jump, but if you really put a little bit more thought into it, and that mind to muscle connection, and really think about the exercise, you'll get a lot more from it in the long run. So, with these you can just go for it. Get a nice solid grip, and jump and explode up and down, and up and down, and up and down, and up and down, and up and down. And that's it. It looks simple, and it kind of is. But just use the TRX as a really good balance. I'm not kind of jumping all over the place there and landing in different awkward positions. Because I've got that for balance and I'm pulling back on it, I'm keeping a nice consistent jump, and that consistency translates through into the consistent muscle use, as opposed to being landing in different awkward positions. Give it a go. I love to tie these in with one-leg pistol squats, which you'll find I've also done some videos on, because they really burn out the muscles. And if you do one-leg pistol squat, and straight into jump squats, it's one hell of a leg workout and a real cardiovascular one. I'm already a little bit out of breath just from 4 of them. Check out the rest of my TRX beginner series videos. They cover a full range of all the muscle groups, covering just the simple basics of TRX and how you get a really good workout for them. In this video, we're going to cover the basics of TRX legs. Now, this mainly focuses on your quads. It does incorporate a little bit of glutes, a little bit of calf, and a little bit of hamstring, and also, as always, secondary muscles that come in are your abs. That's what I always love about TRX. Whenever you perform actions, you're unstable, so you have so many secondary muscles getting used and incorporated. You get a lot more bang for your buck, is what I like to say. So, this is called a TRX pistol squat, and you do one leg at a time. You might have heard of a pistol squat. What people do just with normal body weight. You see some really impressive guys just going down on one leg and exploding up without ease, without any support. The TRX is here to support you doing that, so you've always got something to hold. Now, you're going to take your time. It's all about slowness with the TRX. I always say this in my videos, I reiterate, I'm like a parrot, but TRX, the benefit is being unstable, but taking your time and really making the muscle work, thinking about it as it does, the mind to muscle connection. So 3 seconds down on the negative phase, explode up, squeeze that glutes, squeeze the quads, and at the very top, you're really going to squeeze the quad. So as you stand up, really engage it. So, here we go. Find a comfortable position. Again, this is just something you've got to play around with as you get used to a TRX. You don't want your foot to be too far forward or too far back. You kind of want to be going straight down, but the power, the explosiveness comes through your heel, so you want to feel like you're cracking the floor because you're pushing down through that heel so much as you come up. So you don't want to be pushing up from there, you don't want to be pushing up from there. You want it solid and in line with your shoulders, so your spine's in a neutral position. So, here we go. Down for 1, 2, 3. Not all the way down, just hold it there and explode up. And squeeze that quad. Right now I'm squeezing my quad as hard as I can. And then down for 1, 2, 3. And explode up and squeeze as hard as I can. And that's it. It's quite simple. Just make sure at the top, when you do reach the top, as you come up, you're squeezing your quad. So you stay there and you really squeeze it. And then you go back down, controlled, controlled. And then explode up, squeeze the glute, squeeze the quad, and really squeeze it at the top. Here we're going to focus on the reverse lunge. The reverse lunge is a great one to mix up with the forward lunge or some squats. It just places a lot more emphasis on your inner quads, and it really burns them out. It's really simple with a TRX. You just use it for a little bit of stability. You can also use a chair, but because you're constantly working with it, if, for example, you've been doing some jump squats, it's great to suddenly get into it and just start doing reverse lunges. The reverse lunge is different from a normal forward lunge. So a normal forward lunge would be this action. A reverse lunge would be this action. As I was saying, it places more emphasis on the quads. In a reverse lunge, you're also engaging, in a forward lunge, sorry, you're also engaging your glutes and your hamstrings. So this is really good just for, targeting your quads and really getting some build on them, really wearing them down. So, very simple exercise, but not many people do it correctly with correct technique to get the best from it. So, the way to do it to get some really good burn in those legs, grab the TRX. You don't need to use the handles. I quite like to just hold it at the top here, on the actual straps themselves. And what you're going to do, depending on which leg you're going for, go down for 1, 2, 3, and explode up and squeeze. And look how I've lifted my other foot off the ground just to emphasize the squeeze on the quad. And go down, 1, 2, 3, and up and squeeze. And down, 1, 2, 3, and up and squeeze. Now, for stability, I'm using the TRX here. Even if you start getting a bit tired, you can start pulling yourself up a little bit. If you do want to change the variation up and you want to go for a fast tempo, I'm not averse to that. I just think you get a lot more benefit from slow control technique, keeping the muscles under tension for time. Sorry, can't get my words out. I believe that keeping the muscle under tension for time is where the real sort of benefit comes from and the real build. But you can also do fast tempo reverse lunges if you wish. So, 1, 2, 3. Great just to hold for stability. So there we are. It's a very simple exercise, but it's often one that's overlooked. So many people just turn to squats or lunges, but the reverse lunge is a really good way to put a lot of emphasis on your quads and really build some muscle there. In this video, we're going to focus on the TRX side squat. This is a great little variation move if you're sick of doing pistol squats or normal squats or lunges, and it really targets your outer quad muscle, so it's a real sort of burner on the outer quad there if you're looking to build that. It's a high rep range move. You've got to be careful of your knee, especially your knee joint, with the angle you place your foot, so always be wary of that. Again, it's a balancing one, so you incorporate a few secondary muscles. And yeah, it's great. I call it the TRX side squat. So, to set up, we're only going to use one of the handles. So just pull the TRX down, make sure that one handle's secure. Get your foot into the TRX loop. And find a bit of space, so pull it out a little bit away from the wall. Now, the movement for this, get yourself balanced however you like to balance yourself. You notice I've got my foot out, I'm acting as if I'm doing an actual squat. So, feet slightly turned out, I'm going to make sure that my knee isn't too far over my foot. Maybe come forward a little bit there. nice and straight. Looking forward, and as I go down, I count for 1, 2, 3, hold, and explode up. And pause there, and really squeeze the quad, and then down for 1, 2, 3, getting nice and deep, and explode up, and hold for 1, 2, 3. Now I'm really tense my quad here at the top. It's really key to really tense your quad, really activate that muscle. And down again for 1, 2, 3, and explode up, and squeeze. 1, 2, 3. And that's it, that's the basic movement. Obviously you then swap legs up, do exactly the same, find your foot position, feet in, nice and slow. It's all about slow in the negative phase. TRX is all about stability, slowness, control, really testing and activating the muscles. So yeah, nice high rep range with them. As I say, they're great to mix it up from lunges or reverse lunges or pistol squats. Really give a new dynamic, a new burn to the legs, just because you're incorporating just one leg as opposed to two. Give them a go. You got any questions, any comments, please leave them below. I always get back to people. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm always posting about TRX, new moves, the best way to get to exercise your muscles, use the TRX. Fitness anywhere without the need of a gym. Thanks for watching.